Hello and welcome to our hymn sing today, May 21st, 2020. We'll be singing through the three hymns that we have for this upcoming Sunday on May 24th. The three hymns that we'll be singing this afternoon, the first one is 856, O Christ Who Called the 12. The name might not sound that familiar to you, but it is the same tune as This is my Father's world. Our second hymn for today will be 730, What is the World to Me? And then our last hymn for today will be 594, God's Own Child, I Gladly Say It. So our first one is, O Christ Who Called the 12. O Christ who called the 12 to rise and follow you, forsaking old familiar ways, for ventures bold and new. Grant us to hear your call, to risk security, and bound in heart and will to you find perfect liberty. O Christ who taught the 12 the truth for ages sealed, whose words and works awaken faith, the ways of God reveal. Instruct us now, we pray, by your empowering word, true teacher before all who seek their light, their life, their Lord. O Christ who led the 12 among the desolate, and broke as bread the life for all, for love compassionate. Lead us along the ways where hope has nearly died, and help us climb the lonely hills where love is crucified. O Christ who sent the 12 on roads they never trod, to serve, to suffer, teach, proclaim the nearer reign of God. Send us on ways where faith transcends timidity, where love informs and hope sustains both life and liberty. O Christ the Apostle's Lord, the martyr's strength and song, the crucified and risen Lord, to whom the saints belong. Though generations pass, our tribute still we bring, our hymns a sacrifice of praise, our lives an offering. again, the same tune as This Is My Father's World. Joy to sing that on Sunday, as we will talk about in our sermon for Sunday, but then also all of those who just graduated from our seminaries who are headed out to proclaim God's word, to care for God's people where they have been sent, and to embolden and empower them in that proclamation of Jesus Christ crucified and risen for those that they will serve, but also you who are watching wherever you may happen to be, that love of Christ for you. Our next hymn for this afternoon that we'll also be using this coming Sunday is What is the World to Me? What is the world to me, with all its vaulted pleasure, when you and you alone, Lord Jesus, are my treasure, you only, dearest Lord, my soul's delight shall be. You are my peace, my rest. What is the world to me? The world seeks to be praised and honored by the mighty, yet never once reflects that they are frail and flighty. But what I truly prize above all things is He, my Jesus, He alone. What is the world to me? The world seeks after wealth and all that mammon offers, yet never is content, no gold should fill its coffers. I have a higher good, content with it I'll be, my Jesus, He am mine. What is the world to me? What is the world to me? My Jesus is my treasure, my life, my health, my wealth, my friend, my love, my pleasure, my joy, my crown, my all, my bliss eternally, once more than I declare. What is the world to me? That was our second hymn that we'll have for this coming Sunday. What is the world to me? Our final one will be God's Own Child, I Gladly Say It. That will be our last hymn for today as well as for this Sunday. God's own child, I gladly say it. I am baptized into Christ. Because I could not pay, paid my full redemption price. Do I need earth's treasures many? I have one worth more than any, that brought me salvation free. everlasting to eternity. Sin disturbed my soul no longer. I am baptized into Christ. I have comfort even stronger. Jesus' cleansing sacrifice. Should a guilty conscience seize me, since my baptism did release me in a deep forgiving blood, sprinkling me with Jesus' blood. Satan is my portion. I am baptized into Christ. I am not so soon in Christ. Now that to the found I've traveled, all your might has come around, and against your tyranny, God my Lord unites with me. Death, you cannot end my gladness. I am baptized into Christ. When I die, I leave all sadness to inherit paradise. Though I lie in dust and ashes, faith's assurance brightly flashes. Baptism has the strength divine to make life immortal mine. There is nothing worth comparing to this lifelong comfort sure. Open eye, my grave is staring, even there I'll sleep secure. Though my flesh awaits its raising, still my soul continues praising. I am baptized into Christ. I'm a child of paradise. That was our last hymn for our hymn sing today. An interesting note, that wasn't part of our hymnals. It first was introduced in the hymnal supplement 98. And so I always thought it was a newer hymn that just came out of nowhere. But the tune was written in, it's the 1700s, and the text was written also in the early 1700s, but it was translated by someone who was born in 1957, by Robert Volker. And so it was translated, but it's been around forever. And who knows how many other wonderful hymns that we have that are in other languages, or texts and poems that we can use for our hymns that are in other languages now that can be translated, put to music. That wealth seems to be never ending. And so we're thankful that we're able to sing that, especially this coming Sunday, as it will be our third hymn. Remember that a week from Sunday will be our first time back in worship on May 31st. You'll have noted on our Facebook page, but then also in the newsletter that was sent out yesterday, which should be getting to you today or tomorrow, and emailed out, all the precautionary measures that the elders, the church leadership, has laid out so that we can gather together and worship in the safest way possible. And so take a look at all of those and all the parameters that we're listing out, including marking off every other pew, distancing people, everything with bulletins and everything. So make note of that. If you have any questions, feel free to call myself or one of the elders or the chairman of the congregation if you need more explanation on that. But make sure to read through that so that you know what to expect. on May 31st when we gather together, and then our first time having the Lord's Supper together will be our first Sunday in June on June 7th. And so May 31st will be a good day for us to iron out all the kinks of how to worship safely together, and we can address that as church leadership, and then we look forward to celebrating the Lord's Supper on June 1st as we gather together. For the foreseeable future, for right now, we'll still be having things online, and as things get become safer for us to worship together and to venture out and everything, we'll be pulling back some of those things. We will still be utilizing Main Street Living either on Channel 5 on Sundays at 10 a.m. or go to their website, mainstreetliving.com. But then you can also tune into the radio station at 9:30. And all of those details are in the bulletin or online as well in that note that was sent out. And so even when we're back in worship together, there are still ways for you to distantly worship, whether it's Main Street Living via the radio or our bridge service. Please note that will not happen at the same time. It won't happen at 9 a.m. during our regular worship service. It will either be before that service, probably around 7:30, or in the afternoon at 2. I will let you know that. But if you're looking for a standard set time of worship, that will become when we worship in person. So take a look at all of those precautionary measures. Continue to dive into God's Word, into the Psalms, into those readings that we had for this previous Sunday, knowing that the Lord is with you wherever you go, and that you are His redeemed child, bought back by the blood of the Lamb. God's peace to you this day.